Today I'm going to tell you about the basics of caring for a veiled chameleon in captivity. Behind me, you see my chameleon's enclosure and maybe even my chameleon Bruno. I've been caring for Bruno for 2 years. I've had him since he was just a little baby at only 6 weeks old. He's definitely more of a look at pet than a handle me pet like a puppy or even a bearded dragon. They require a lot of time and are very sensitive to stress and prefer to be left alone. Veiled chameleons are a challenging pet to keep. To thrive, they require a large habitat with live plants, adequate lighting, temperature and humidity control, as well as a varied diet of live insects and proper supplements. So let me tell you a little bit about veiled chameleons and their needs. Veiled chameleons are native to tropical areas of Yemen and Saudi Arabia. They're an arboreal species, meaning that they live above ground in the trees. Adult veiled chameleons require a screen enclosure that's at least 2 feet wide by 2 feet deep by 4 feet tall. Bigger is actually better. They require dense foliage and lots of horizontal branches to hide on, or to climb on, When choosing plants for a chameleon habitat, choose plants such as pothos, hibiscus, ferns, and palms. A general rule of thumb is that if they're toxic for your cat or your dog, they're probably not safe for a chameleon. Never use artificial plants because sometimes they will eat them and it could cause injury. As I said, they need lots of horizontal sticks and branches. You can also buy some bendy vines at your local pet store to give them a super highway to let them get around their enclosure. Be sure to leave the top 8 to 10 inches clear so that they aren't too close to the lights and can't get burned. Chameleons require UVB light to properly absorb vitamin D3 and prevent metabolic bone disease. Since captive chameleons are typically not exposed to the sun's rays, we have to give them high-quality UVB bulbs to prevent that debilitating disease. Chameleons also require a basking light to help them thermoregulate. Basking spot, the temperature should be around 85 degrees, and it should be about 70 to 80 degrees through the rest of the enclosure. You want to create a temperature gradient from top to bottom. Since veiled chameleons are from a semi-arid tropical environment, it's important to mimic the drop in temperature and rise in humidity that typically happens in the wild. So we use a reptile humidifier overnight to achieve this. You might notice the water that's dripping behind me. Chameleons don't drink from standing water. Instead, they hydrate themselves by breathing in humid air, drinking water droplets from leaves, and absorption through their skin. Because of this, Bowling Green State University's Chameleon Fact Sheet recommends misting the habitat generously twice a day. Never mist or fog a chameleon's enclosure while the lights are on because this could create a sauna effect, which then could cause respiratory illness or even death. Only mist 30 minutes before lights on and 30 minutes after lights out. Veiled chameleons are also insectivores. They sometimes eat plant material to aid digestion and hydration, but it shouldn't be a large part of their diet. According to Mariah Haley, professional reptile and husbandry researcher, chameleons as pets should have a variety of live insects to eat. Crickets, roaches, and fly larvae are some of the ideal staples. You can also feed a hornworm to aid in hydration, or with females, you can give them pinky mice after they've laid a clutch of eggs. Ideally, their insects should be gut-loaded, which means that they should be fed a nutritious diet of fresh fruits and vegetables themselves, and then the insects need to be dusted with calcium powder before feeding. Twice a month, instead of the calcium powder, you use a vitamin supplement that has preformed vitamin A. These supplements help with proper growth and development and are very important parts of proper husbandry. In conclusion, I would like to say that these are just the basic requirements for chameleon keeping. I would encourage anyone who is thinking of getting a chameleon to do their research and set up their habitat well in advance of bringing a chameleon home. In order to thrive in captivity, they require a habitat which mimics their natural habitat, including live plants, lighting, temperature, and humidity control, as well as a diet of live insects and supplements. Bruno and I hope that this presentation has been helpful to anyone who may be thinking about getting a veiled chameleon as a pet. Thank you.